We get back into play here in our final segment. The voice that you'll hear, as I said, echoing off of Paris Mountain at Furman home games this year is this guy, Jeff Holley, who
somebody.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah,
left me hanging there. I was
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's okay.
That's how I roll, man.
There you go.
He won a contest of almost 60 competitors, and it was just strictly a social media contest, basically a cattle call for anybody who wanted to be the PA announcer, come and try out.
I guess I moved the best.
Yeah, you did. You absolutely did. But it was a very interesting 2 days, initial 2 days, and then the follow-up the next week with the final 5. And you were the last man standing, buddy. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Quite an honor. I'm really really excited to be a part of it. You know, I've mentioned a few times to some people I can't be more excited and proud and honored to be a part of the Furman football family now.
And wisely, you are wearing the Diamond F as opposed to
that's right.
some of the other stuff you could be wearing.
Some of the colors transition over very easily, so it worked rather conveniently for me. But yeah, I've stocked up on the Furman gear. The bookstore, I think I've helped them pay the rent and the light bill for the last month or so with all the purple that I've bought.
Bought stock, basically. That's what you did.
Yeah.
You and I go back a long way. Matter of fact, I was kidding somebody with some of the issues they were having with the field out here in the turf. I said, in another life, Jeff could just come out here and he could just sprayed it
That's
green.
Right. We could,
and it would have worked. But you've gotten more and more over the years into public speaking, public address announcing, DJing, and doing some other things. Why was this an attractive opportunity for you?
Oh wow! Other than the fact of Furman football, I mean it's quite a big entity here in the upstate and beyond. You know, when I was a kid, I was 10, 11, 12 years old when Furman won the '88 national championship. So Furman's always been a special place to me. I remember coming over to a football camp here in high school and spending a lot of time in the dorms and on the field out here, and just always really thought it was a special place. And having the opportunity to take the next step in a professional aspect with an institution like this and a program like this, it was a no-brainer. I wanted to shoot for that. Because
you've been doing high school PA for a while now, right?
I did. I've been doing, and still on Friday nights, I'm doing T.L. Hanna High School down in Anderson, 5A, ranked number 3 in the state this week. Yeah, 3-0 so far with wins over Spartanburg, Gaffney, and Boiling Springs. So they're
no joke right there.
Quite a good start. Yeah, so I bring pretty good moxie with me.
There you go. We'll take that.
Like I said, I do bring the rain. The last 2 times I've been to campus, I've brought the rain. But yeah, I've been doing high school down in Anderson for a few years, and Dan, I just really enjoy it. You know, when I used to sit in on shows with you for advertising or things like that, I always knew I enjoyed having a microphone in my hand or a headset on. You know, and I guess it goes back to when I was a kid doing some things like that. So really enjoy being around the game, being around the sport. And contributing something. You know, I joke, but it's a little bit serious. One of the reasons I stepped back into doing this, because I did do some of it in high school and in college, just more for fun than anything. But when my daughters were coming through middle school in the Hanna district 5 years ago, my oldest daughter 5 or 6 years ago, and I would go to every game to see her cheer, right? So I'm going to be there anyway. And I'm sitting in the stands and hearing some of these parents, "Oh, come on, coach, you need to run this," or "put so-and-so in." And I just couldn't take it. So I went to the principal one day and said, "You want me to go up in the booth for you?" Because at the time he was doing the announcing, and it's number 10 on the carry. No offense to the principal there.
Sure.
He gave me my shot, right?
Absolutely.
But I think he wasn't too enthralled about doing it. So it worked out good. I got out of the elements with all the parents. And got into the booth.
So basically, this career move came to get away from parents who were complaining in the stands.
Yeah, I mean, everything is always a byproduct of something else, right?
You got that
so
right.
Just kind of fell into it, and like I said, really enjoyed it. Started trying to do some things there at Hanna to to turn around the atmosphere. Luckily here we have a stadium DJ, so you won't have to rely on me for that, because my skills are limited on that. But at Hannah would bring the music, and still do bring the music for big third downs or whatever. So
good stuff.
Just try to make it as entertaining as it can be, and keep the fans informed, because the way I view my job as the PA announcer, I'm not calling the play-by-play. You guys do that, and you do that in the booth here. But
allegedly,
that's what I hear. Yeah, I need to check.
That's what they
need to check the tape on that, I believe. But there's a lot of people who come to the game who aren't football experts. I think we, being around the sport so much and for all of our lives, can know exactly what's going on the field. But I make it a point to try to call the action for the people who maybe are not that knowledgeable about what's going on, because there are some at every game. So,
Sure.
Make it a point every time to say the down and distance, who was on the carry, the obvious things, but still at the same time not going overboard, because you want to blend into the background as the PA announcer. You don't want to be the –
Yeah, well, and it's interesting, before Forrest ask a question, if he has one,
Yeah.
when we were doing the tryouts, and I probably heard 40 of the 55 people that tried. And, ironically, I didn't hear your first
yeah,
tryout.
we joked. That helped me out,
Yeah,
I think.
probably. But I probably heard 40 of the 50, and it was interesting. There were a handful of people who, when the play-by-play sequence came up on the video screen for them to do the PA version of, there were a couple. I mean, the first guy, first words out of his mouth were, handing in the shotgun.
Yeah.
Right. Motion left or right. Here's the hand. He was actually doing play-by-play. That's not what the PA guy is there for. You've just described perfectly what a public address announcer is supposed to be. Of course.
Yeah. So obviously there's 60 competitors at this event I guess about a month or so ago, and I'm sure you weren't there for all of them. How was it? Pretty daunting to be in front of around all those other competitors?
I came the first day, the first round of tryouts. I think it was a Saturday and Sunday. I think you guys had more than you expected.
It's actually Friday and Saturday.
Friday and Saturday.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's right. I came on Saturday. I knew there was an additional day, one way or the other. I came a little early and sat out in the parking lot and tried to hear on the speakers what was going on, just so that I could get an idea of what the requirements were. I couldn't really hear very well, but I did interact with some of the other guys, and quite honestly, I left that day and I called my wife and I said, I tell you what, there's some good voices in there, some radio guys, some professional guys. I said, honey, I don't know if I'll get the call or not, and sure enough, a week later, I got the call back for the final 5, and that lifted my spirits a little bit.
Yeah.
That was I think some would call that a little bit of an intimidating second round, right? I mean, Dan, you were there. It was right out here in the press box. I think we had 10 or 12 different.
Yeah, and let me set this up for you. The first round, they did it with the judges elsewhere,
hidden
on the field or something.
No,
okay.
we were Friday. We were down sitting outside the president's suite, and then Saturday we were actually in one of the other booths down on the other end of the press box. With the window open so we could hear what it sounded like on the public address. So didn't have the pressure. Yeah. And there were only about 5 of us. Yeah. As opposed to what you came into. I'll let you finish.
Yeah, so for us, it was an empty stadium. We were over here in the PA booth, and Ben from marketing was there with us and basically just brought each person in one at a time. And I'd say within 10 minutes, we were in. Each person was in and out. So it was, read a few scripted announcements. And then call some action off of a little TV screen. That was the only thing that was my problem. Was I think it was Furman. I forget the game that you guys had that they had replaying on the screen there.
Furman, Western Carolina, I think.
Maybe so. Yeah. But we had to call that action. And if you think about watching a game on the television, you see the play happen. Yeah. And that's exactly what we were looking at. So at the end of the play, I think it was a touchdown to 88 at the time. So I was doing my, touchdown Paladins and touchdown to number. And as I start, I know now that it's 88, but I couldn't see it then. As I start to say to number, the replay cuts, what I'm watching cuts to replay. because it's a TV feed. So I had to hit the pause button on myself and wait until the replay finished, or wait until mid replay where I could actually see what the number was before I could.
Man.
So that was the most difficult aspect, was calling it on that small TV screen where you couldn't look around and didn't have a spotter or anything, of course. So that really worried me that first day. And that's, like I said, when I left, I told my wife I had a little bit of a hiccup there, but it was tough calling it from the screen. But the second game, we had a larger screen out here in the lobby, so that helped out a little bit.
But you also had 10 judges.
That's right.
Sitting there,
staring
at you, watching you while you were doing it.
Yeah, those poor guys. I tell you what. So yeah, 10 guys. We had it wasn't over the PA system the second round, just a dead mic, just simulating what we would be doing, similar things, reading some scripts and calling a whole series of plays. So. So yeah, it was they put on a good audition process, and I felt very proud to have been the best Cal.
And I'll say, yeah, exactly. I'll say this with Jeff sitting here, and I told you as the process was going on and said it on the show, that I went into this thing thinking we were going to have maybe 2 or 3 serious candidates, and we're going to have a whole lot of comedy.
Yeah,
Yeah. But just kind of like what you see on the American Idol tryouts.
Yeah.
William Hung. Who's going to be William Hung?
Yeah.
Exactly. But it was exactly the opposite. I mean, there was some comedy.
Sure.
But there was some awfully good talent. There was a 16-year-old kid who came through here who was phenomenal. Just didn't have enough experience, but is going to go a long way in this business. So the field that Jeff came through to win was not, it's like, there's maybe 2 or 3 serious guys and 55 scrubs. I mean, we had a hard time taking it from the top 10 down to the top 5. I mean, there was some good talent there. And on that final day, as I said, the vote was 7 out of 10 first place votes went to Jeff. So even knowing him, as I said, had I recused myself, the vote still would have been 6 out of 9 in his favor. So I had very little to do with him sitting here.
So you actually, I thought that you said I got 7 out of 10 first place votes. I wondered why you had 3 votes. I assumed that you were the 3.
Yeah, that's right.
No,
I was a late.
Thanks for clarifying.
I was a late candidate. I was going to have 2 mics, but they decided that wouldn't work. So you excited about Saturday?
I am. I'm very excited about it. I'm ready to get out here and not only do the job but experience game day here.
Were you at the game at Wofford past weekend?
No, I watched it.
Okay.
I watched it on ESPN3 online there. Had the Apple TV hooked up to the big TV. Had some problems with the feed there, but
that's what we were hearing throughout the afternoon and the evening. So.
But the feed came through in crunch time. So right at the end, I saw the touchdown run, and my family and myself, we were all cheering in the living room. And I tell you, I'm sure you guys have talked about it throughout the week, but I liked the aggressiveness of going for it on 2.
Absolutely.
Maybe not the play call. That's not my job to say one way or the other, though. But I like the aggressiveness. It shows that I think this team is here to do big things, and,
no doubt.
And I know they have the goal of turning this ship back around, and I think Coach Hendricks will. So I'm ready for it.
Well, this is outstanding. I'm looking forward to Saturday for a myriad of reasons, and one, seeing my friend Jeff Holley, or hearing my friend Jeff Holley in the background during the course of the game as we broadcast the home opener. It'll be Jeff Holley's voice you hear inside the stadium here Saturday and for all of the home football games here in 2017. Congratulations again, buddy.
Thank you so much.
Good
I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Buddy.
All right, that's going to wrap it up for us after we get the trivia question
answered. That right, I was going to jump up my seat for a minute there, but the topic is Furman football, and specifically the last time Furman beat beat Elon at home.
At home.
When was the last time the Furman Paladins beat Elon at home?
I think we only.
I know the answer.
Yeah. I think we only had one guess, so that guess was 2007.
And that is correct. And even got the score right too, 52-49. And just to kind of reminisce on some of those names from back in the day: Jerome Felton, Ronaldo Gray, Jordan Sorrells, Patrick Sprague, Mike Brown, Adam Mims, Thomas Twitty, Andrew Jones, and Scott Beckler, one of the great kickers in Furman history. So just one of the better Furman teams, if I'm not mistaken.
Is Beckler not a T.L. Hanna product, by the way?
He may have predated my T.L. Hanna days. I don't know that for sure.
For some reason, that seems to resonate with me that Beckler may have been a T.L. Hanna product. But there you go. SoCon John was right.
He was.
2007, the last time that Furman beat Elon here at Paladin Stadium until Saturday.
Until Saturday. There you go. Yeah. Then 10 years, the 10-year later date.
Then the answer to that question will change.
Absolutely.
All right. We have gone almost 10 minutes overtime here.
Congrats to Cal Ripken Jr., by the way.
Yeah. This day in 1995.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
He broke
2,131 games consecutive played.
Yeah. We before the show started, Forrest and I were watching that moment again on YouTube. And
really cool stuff.
Pretty special.
I hadn't seen that video before, so I was really glad to see that.
Yeah. What were you, 2?
3.
3?
Yeah. So, the youngin.
I've said to him more than once, it's a perfect example of youth being wasted on the young.
It happens time and time again.
It does. All right, as the rain continues to fall harder and harder here, we are going to take our leave. We'll be back with you tomorrow, same time and same place. And if you missed any of this interview, any of the Dave Glenn interview, both of those will be available via social media coming up in just a little while. Until then, for Jeff Holley, for Forrest Stulting, I'm Dan Scott saying God bless you and so long, everybody.